to Career Uprising. I'm your host and professional career coach, Lorraine Rise. Join me as I guide you through an amazing journey of self-discovery and empowerment. If you are looking for work, changing careers, or stuck in a toxic job, then this is the show for you. I offer both practical and spiritual guidance to help you up-level and advance your career. Let's start the uprising. Hey everybody, you are listening to episode 45, When the Job Search is Taking Too Long. Hey everybody, how are you? Welcome to Career Uprising. Oh, I am doing really well, and I have to tell you what else is really cool here is when this show debuts on March 25th, it'll be my birthday. So I'm looking at growing another year older, which is just fine with me, honestly. Turning 35 feels pretty good. I am really happy with so many things with this show, with my company, and just a lot of other things about where I am. So I'm feeling really good. I don't think that I would roll the clock back in time at all to my 20s. I'm doing really well. So that's what is going on in my world. I think that I'm getting older. But you know what? I think that if we take care of ourselves and have a good spiritual foundation, there is really no reason to fear growing older at all. And I don't at all. So that is what's going on with me, turning 35 pretty soon. I'm excited. Things are rolling along. What's new with you? What is going on? Is your job search taking too long? That's what we're going to talk about today. This is a huge pain point. Probably, honestly, one of the biggest things that I help clients through. So we will definitely get into this today and talk about how you can remedy this if this is your situation right now. So before we get started, I do want to let you know also that I am enrolling right now for my signature program, Career Transformation. This is my most in-depth program. And the reason I say I'm enrolling for it right now is it's always kind of an open enrollment, but because of the in-depth nature of this particular program, I am limited on how many people I can take on. And so it varies throughout the year. Sometimes I have more availability than others. This is a 3-month journey, really, that you and I would go on together. So, and I'm a little more selective too about who I enroll on this because we will be working together so in depth for a period of time. So I don't always have as much time on my schedule depending on what's going on. I have a little bit of room right now. So if that speaks to you and you are needing some kind of change or transformation, be it a new career or just a better job or something else going on, let me know. We would do a total of 6 coaching sessions together. It also comes with full service resume writing with one of my staff members, which is awesome. You'll get a DISC assessment, so much fun learning about yourself and so valuable with those, and tons of other bonuses that I have developed that I keep just for career transformation clients. So lot that comes with that. So I wanted to let you know that and give you that invitation. If you've been on the fence and you know you need some help, you know you need to do something, but maybe you don't know what, this would be an opportunity. Maybe you're lacking direction or just not getting results. This is the time to speak up, you guys. And what I will do is if you feel that this is what you need and you want to take advantage of this, I will gift you 10% off of your investment, but you're going to need to act pretty soon because my schedule does fill up. But whenever you are listening to this, if you want to make that commitment, if you're serious and you want to show up for something new in your career, I will gift you that 10% off, but you need to mention this podcast, okay? You need to mention that you heard it on the show, episode 45, and if you show up, I will show up and I will over-deliver. I love over-delivering to my clients and just kind of wowing them. It's so good. And there's payment plans available. You don't have to pay in full, so just keep that in mind as well. I try to make it as easy on you as I can, okay? So now that we've got that out of the way, let's get to our topic. All right. Like I said, one of the biggest problems that I help clients to solve is looking for work and how to make it quicker, more effective, less painful, all of these things. So yeah, I think this is probably the number one or number two problem that I help clients with. And so if you're in a grueling job search, listen up. That happens to be one of my specialties. Many people really, really underestimate how long their search will take. And then they find themselves pretty unprepared for the process. So as you can imagine, of course, I've been in your shoes, even though I work for myself happily now. That's not everybody's goal. Not everyone needs to do that. And that isn't even really who I work with and work for. So I've been a job seeker in the past. I've been a job hunter many, many times over, and I've changed careers pretty distinctly twice by the time I was 30. So I know this process from a personal standpoint, but I also know it from a professional standpoint. I've been involved in the hiring process my entire career in one way or another, recruiting or doing the actual hiring, onboarding, all of it. Okay. So I know the hiring process very, very well. I'm comfortable with that. I live in that world every day. So I know how to help you to cope emotionally with and mentally with the job search and how to just get through that, but also how to reverse that and get better results and find a better match faster. Okay. This is what I do. So maybe it would be a good idea to define what we even mean by long, right? Because some people after 3 weeks might be like, this is taking too long. Or some people go for 6 months or a year or more, right? So what do we even mean by that? And what is normal for a job search? So of course, as you can imagine too, I'm going to tell you it varies. It really does. It depends on your career level and what type of work you do as well, and the level of effort and the type of strategy you use in your search. A lot of things are going to cause this to vary. But I would say, as a general rule, a 2-month job search or so is not that uncommon. That is pretty normal and not that long. And I primarily work with mid and late career clients, so they have a fair amount of experience, a lot of them managers, directors, not exclusively, but a lot of them. And the higher up you get, the longer it's likely to take, because it's kind of like a pyramid, right? Sometimes there's less jobs available up at the top, so that's a factor as well. But I would say if you get a job in 90 days or less, you're doing pretty well. You're doing pretty well, especially if you're like 50 plus. So keep that in mind and use that as just a general guideline for whether or not things are taking too long and you need to panic or change course or anything like that, okay? I would definitely say, though, for most people, when you start to approach 4 months, 5 months, 6 months plus, that is a long time. And that means something's probably not right. You might need to change something in your strategy, presentation, even your mindset. We're going to talk about that as well. Okay. So what I'm going to do is identify the 3 biggest barriers that I see in clients in terms of what is holding them back and slowing down the results. We're going to dive in right now. You guys ready? Here's number 1. Number 1, you have a negative attitude or expectations about the job search. So if you've listened to my show at all with any kind of attention over the last couple of weeks and months, you know I talk a lot about attitude and expectations. And I believe this is the number 1 factor. It is, whether you want to admit it or not. If you were hoping I would say something more practical, sorry, you'll be disappointed, okay? The number 1 thing that is probably holding you back is not likely to be your resume or your LinkedIn, although those things do matter. And for some people, it is something a little bit more practical, but not always. For a lot of people, your starting point is in your attitude. It's very easy to get negative and jaded and cynical when you've been searching with no results. I completely understand. It's easy to do. So if that's you, just forgive yourself, but just acknowledge it. And you need to recognize that that is going to affect your results. It's going to be a seek and you shall find kind of thing. All right. Like any change in life, you need to operate from the mindset and from the emotional standpoint of already having that amazing job. You might think that that's not possible until you have the job, but you've got it backwards. It absolutely is. This is how all change and manifestation happens, never the other way around. You have to have the mindset that's positive, that lives in I love my job mode. Even if you don't, you can live in that mindset now while you search. Conducting your search with optimism and confidence that a great new opportunity is out there is what will enable you to find it, because you're only going to find what you believe is possible or realistic. So you might need to stretch your mind in terms of what that is. All right. And you need to be happy enough at least, to go through the process of finding it. You won't have to love job searching. All right. If you can, great. But don't resist the process. That is going to be painful. Or maybe it already is. Anytime you are resisting anything in life, it's going to make it more painful and it's going to make it longer, or at least feel longer. All right. So you're going to start to become more impatient then. And I want you to think, unless you're unemployed, what's the rush really? Ask yourself honestly, what is the rush? Why not let myself take some time, do a steady search, and find the right match? Wouldn't that be worth it? Sometimes there's a need to rush and sometimes there's not. So you might want to ask yourself that question. Is it really crucial that I find a job immediately in the next 6 months? Or would I be better taking a more thoughtful, intentional approach and just making sure that I find the right match? All right. But your intention and your attitude about the search will determine how difficult or how easy the process is. All right. So that is your foundation. That is step 1. Step 2, maybe you don't have a clear target or know what you really want. This can make searching go on, endless, right? Because you don't even know exactly what you're looking for. And it's okay if that's you, but just know that until you get more clarity on where you belong, what you want to do, it's likely going to hold up your results. I work with a lot of people who say they're a jack of all trades, right? This is really, really common. They have a lot of different skills and experiences, and their work history isn't exactly logical or linear, and that's fine. It doesn't have to be, but it does present a little bit of a conundrum when you are looking to change jobs because you feel like you could potentially go in a number of directions and you don't know how to present it, or what jobs to target. And you don't want to target just these jobs because then you'd limit yourself. I understand this mindset. I really, really do. And I think the first thing to understand is that there's no should. There's just what you choose. All right. So take the shoulds out of the equation. It isn't that you should go in this direction or you should go in that direction. It's just, what do you want? Take the pressure off of yourself and just ask yourself, what would make me really happy right now? What skills do I want to be using? What would be really fun to do? What career path makes sense for me and aligns with my priorities right now? You don't necessarily know 3 to 5 years from now. So all you have is the present moment. So make a decision from there. That's all you have to do. What makes sense and aligns with my priorities right now? All right. I kind of reject the notion that you have to plan your career out years ahead of time, right? A lot of us do that, and you can do that, but it's going to change. How many of us have changed directions and gone completely away from things we thought we knew we were going to do? I know I have. I'm not using my bachelor's degree at all, at least not in my professional life. It's okay. Don't plan too far ahead. Make decisions from the present moment and know what your priorities are. If I had planned everything out, I would never be doing career coaching or this podcast. Because trust me, those were not in the plan when I was younger. Those things were not on my radar at all. All right? Let life surprise you. Be a little bit open, but in the moment, develop a target for what you think you want to do now, but leave the big picture open. Does that make sense, guys? Stay with me. All right. But as far as a job search goes, it can affect the speed at which you find something if you don't really have a clear target and you're kind of shooting resumes to all these different jobs, and someone looks at your resume and they think, I don't really know where you fit in or what you do. That will affect your results. Okay. I can help with that if you're struggling with that. But so like I said, narrow your skill set down somewhat. It doesn't have to be a certain job title. I wouldn't get too hung up actually on the job title, but just isolate the skills that you want to be using and focus on that. And when you search for jobs, search for skills too, not always just job titles. You don't necessarily know the title of your next job, but you might know the skill you want to use. So start with that, all right? But a more focused job search really is more successful than a broad one. So start out a little bit broad, but then narrow it down as you get a little bit more clarity and feedback on things, okay? All right, so number one is to adjust your expectations and make sure you are showing up with the right mindset for this job search and not resisting the process. Number two is develop a clear target and make sure you know what you want so you can recognize it when you see it. And then we're going to get to number three in just a minute. We're going to take a quick commercial break, and then I have more coming for you, okay? We'll be right back. Hey everyone! While the show takes a short break, I want to let you know about a book that I recently wrote. That's right, a book. It's called Career Uprising. Unlock your potential and advance your career. And it walks you through how to bring about massive change in your career. And I'm talking about real, lasting change at the deepest levels. You'll learn more about my own career journey and the exact techniques that I have used to create my own success. So if you want to make a big move in your career, but you don't know how, or don't think that you have the courage, go to Amazon.com and purchase the book. It's called Career Uprising, Unlock Your Potential and Advance Your Career. And it's an ebook, so you'll be able to download it through the free Amazon Kindle app and start reading it instantly. And I've priced it very low cost, so you have nothing to lose. I know that you will get massive value from it. All right, let's get back to the show. Hey guys, and we are back. All right, so we are ready to get to the third reason why it's likely that your job search is taking too long, painfully long. So this is also incredibly common. You are likely only using one method to apply for jobs. I have said this many times on the show and many times to clients at coaching sessions. I feel like a broken record, but that is okay. We often need to hear things multiple times before it sinks in and before it actually clicks and we realize that, oh, she's talking to me. So a lot of people use only one method to apply for jobs, and that will slow down your search. It's going to limit your visibility, and visibility is the name of the game, all right? It's kind of like when you're selling a product or, promoting a service. Obviously, you want to get in front of as many people as possible that it's relevant for, right? Well, the same is very much true when you're looking for work, okay? So anytime that you approach anything with one method or one strategy, I think you have to expect that it's likely going to limit you. This is natural. You need exposure in order to shorten your search. So you'll only get, now the most common, let me back up. The most common way that people are doing it, I think is online, right? So I'm mostly talking here about online applications. That alone will probably slow down your search. You're only getting a certain amount of exposure because you're limiting yourself to what's available online. And believe me, I know when you go to the job boards and go to LinkedIn, it might look like there's all these jobs. Maybe you're getting big search results and you've got all these job alerts coming to your email and all that stuff. And it looks like there's all these jobs. But then what happens is you apply to all those and you hear back from like 2. I mean, the callback rate is really, really low. It's like 2-3%. Okay. So it's actually incredibly limiting because compared to all the jobs that are actually out there, I mean, there's all kinds of estimations, but some people say job boards encompass as little as 20 or maybe 50% of the available jobs at best. It's probably more like 25, something like that. So you are actually limiting yourself to a fraction of what is out there because there's so many other methods that employers can use to find jobs besides job boards. And if you've never been in the hiring process in your career, it's understandable that you wouldn't understand that. You wouldn't really know. You've never had that as part of your job and seen the hiring process. So this is where a job seeker's knowledge can be limited sometimes because they don't realize the other methods that employers are going to before they ever even post a job. And that's why it's not a waste of time to pursue companies and connections, even if you don't see a specific job open at that time, okay? But you always want another method. So engaging other people that you know will always help you in this process, all right? And it's good practice for you to do that. A job search makes people really vulnerable and visible, right? They have to pick up the phone or talk to people or, set up coffee dates. It's good for getting yourself more confident and getting out there. So there's some other benefits to going through this process anyway. But a lot of people aren't used to getting a job that way. Maybe the newer generation in a way, but not even that. I've seen a lot of older folks not know any way other than applying online. But I want you to really challenge you to use this as an opportunity to expand your network, reconnect with people from your old network, and get a little more comfortable with putting yourself out there. Get a little uncomfortable, perhaps, because you weren't already uncomfortable in your job search. I'm sure you weren't. But I am going to make a disclaimer because this is a big area that I get a lot of questions on. All right. Can I apply online? Is it a black hole? That kind of thing. So I will say this, you really can get a job applying online. You might get lucky. It happens. It's happened to me. It's happened to my clients. It's happened to people in my family and other people that I've known. And there are career coaches out there who will tell you in very urgent terms, never, ever, ever to apply online. Never send an online application. It's a black hole. It's a waste of time. Well, I disagree. I'm a little more moderate than that. Like I said, I have found jobs, good ones, online. So if many people I've known, I'm just warning you to not over rely on that. All right. Don't use that as your only or primary strategy because that will slow your search down. Okay. See, that wasn't so painful. You can toss an application out there every now and then. Just do your due diligence and search and see if you do have any connections there or if you can identify somebody who works there to reach out to. Do at least a little bit of work up front to see if you can make a connection. And if you can't, apply online. This actually is a great example. Just about a week or two ago, a client in my career jumpstart program, he did exactly this. He said, he'd been going full force in the networking and it was going well, but he didn't feel like he was really applying anywhere yet. He felt like it was kind of getting a little sluggish, even though he was having good conversations, just wasn't sure where it was all going to lead. I said, throw an application out there. It's fine. It's not going to hurt you. You can have more than one method, all right? Because he had been doing so much good networking and we felt good about that, I said, yeah, apply online. If you see a job and you like it and you can't identify any connections there, yes, throw the application out. It's better to be considered than not at all. It's not a complete waste of time. Well, you know what happened? He emailed me and said, look, they want to interview me. I got a call back. I took your advice. And I loved that email. All right. So sometimes it's okay to do that. I'm not going to rip you off the computer entirely. I just don't want it to become your crutch, because that is a surefire way to have a slow job search. All right. So those are the three things that are most likely to be holding you back and slowing down your search. So now what do you do? If you've already been searching and you're frustrated and kind of going crazy and hating the process, how do you cope with that? Well, that's a good point. Sometimes you need to just take a quick pause in the search briefly to kind of reset your emotions and your attitude. I don't want you to stop altogether or completely give it up, but I think it's okay when you've been searching for a while and you're getting into that negative place in your mind to pause and just take a breather. So hopefully you can come back refreshed with a new attitude. All right. This is really important, because you've got to find a way to fix your expectations and the emotions that you bring to your job search. That will drive the type of experience that you have and your results. All right. So take a week or two off, do something else, think about something else, but then be sure to get back to it. And when you get back to it, have a different attitude. All right. And when you get back into it, remember these 3 points that I shared as well, and make sure that you are really maximizing and taking action on them, because it won't be enough just to hear them. You need to put them into action in your own search. All right. So the bottom line message here is engage your network, vary your methods, check your attitude, take a break if you need to, and remember that a reasonable job search it's a little bit of a process. Even if you have a great resume and a great strategy, depending on your career level and what work you do, it could take 2 to 3 months, and that is normal. But if you're way beyond that, then something is likely going on and isn't working, and you need to change your strategy a little bit. Okay. All right, guys, short and sweet. That was episode 45. Consider coaching with me in 2019. That offer for the Career Transformation Program is on the table right now. As of about March-ish 2019, I have room for 1 or 2 more people. So mention episode 45 and you will get 10% off the investment, saving you over $300. You're welcome. Gift yourself that, okay? Take the plunge. You can do this. I believe in you. And you can connect with me through my Facebook group, Career Uprising, and join my email community. It's a great free way to take another step, get a little bit more engaged in these teachings, and help apply all the principles that you're hearing on the show. Listening and learning is one thing. Applying is a whole nother thing. All right. But I'll be back next week with a new topic and some announcements, big stuff coming. So keep listening. Big announcements. So excited. Coming really soon. All right. Go out there and be brave and be magnificent. I love you guys. I will talk to you next time. That's it for today's show. Thank you so much for listening. If you like what you heard today, please consider giving the show a positive review on iTunes. It would mean a lot to me, and it would help to spread the word so that others can learn about the show. Thanks again for tuning in, and I can't wait to connect with you again next time on Career Uprising.
This show is brought to you by InflowRadio.com. The best curated talk radio network for personal development, wellness, spirituality, and conscious business.